Hello and welcome back everyone to Last Level Press. I am Mr. Black and this is round 2 of GunZ 2, the second duel. My, that gets repetitive. Alright, now I have checked the Steam page for this game since I uploaded my first 15 of this game. And my first 15, if you guys haven't watched it, was not very positive. I had some connection issues leading up to it, and I had some pretty severe display issues during the recording of that episode. Now, I have since logged in once to see if the latest update, which Myatt has been very good about staying on top of. So as harsh as I was on Myatt Entertainment in my first 15 of this game, I have to praise and commend them for staying so on top of the bugs that are being reported to them. That said, I have now since logged in to check and see, can I now get into a match? Yes, indeed I have. So I have played one full match already just to make sure that it didn't crash, and that went well. I actually learned as I tried to record this episode immediately after that it may well have been some manner of conflict between Fraps and my video drivers that caused the initial issues that I ran into in my first 15 video, because I checked around on some forums and it seems like NVIDIA users are having no problems with this game visually, but AMD users and some others are running into the same sorts of issues as I am. So I realized that if I tried to launch the game and I was not recording from Fraps, I could get into a match. But if I was recording Fraps for some reason, as soon as I hit the launch button, the ready button, to get into an actual match and not on a menu, then it would freeze and essentially I would have to Control-Alt-Delete to exit the game, restart, and get through all of that mess. Let's get into the interior game here. Now, I am still in this menu here, seeing this in a windowed lower resolution. I believe this is running at 720p right now, even though in the options it says it's running at 1920 by 1080. It's not. But if I actually get into the game, suddenly the transition from menu to in-game goes full screen and it actually performs the way that it's supposed to. So I'm going to give you guys a quick little rundown on a couple of the things that I have learned from that first match that I played, and then I'm going to get into the gameplay to finally show you guys how this game runs. So I learned after my first match that the paid currency is not, in fact, or rather, I'm sorry, the in-game currency is not strictly a paid currency. You can earn it in-game. So I earned 1,320 from my first match, and that seems pretty reasonable given that most of the equipment seems to be, if not all of the equipment really as I look at it, yeah, all of the equipment for this character at least seems to be priced at 15,000. So play a well-played match and it looks like you've got roughly 10-ish rounds before you're able to unlock a new piece of equipment. And that's a little bit stout, but because the matches really only go for about 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes, that's not really over much. Especially because, remember guys, this game is still in early access. I don't know if I ever mentioned that in the first 15. It's not necessarily a finished game. The developers are still adding a great deal of content to it. I believe that's why they're paying such close attention to the user feedback that they're getting. And optimization and further variety are very high on the list of priorities. At least that's what they say on their Steam page. Now, the equipment is not universal. They are unique sets that each character can unlock and work within. You may notice that these are different. I like the looks of that. That actually reminds me a little bit of the ebony and ivory guns. And let me get one of those and one of those. Just combine that into a set to get a little Devil May Cry action going on. Let's just have a quick look at some of these. I like the nail bat for this chick. And then finally, the heavy weapons man. The Legion Shield. I like the look of that. Alright, anyway. So there's that. There is then the Tesla shop, whose functions I do not fully understand at all. I think, and I say this with no certainty whatsoever, that you take items that you have bought through the normal shop and use these crystal things. What just popped up? I could have sworn a little hover over tooltip thingy showed up there for a moment. Oh, it was probably that. Okay, anyway. But I thought I earned one of these, I think, Tesla crystals or whatever, from my first match, but now it says I have 0 of 7, so I may not have. And I don't know what these numbers here mean. 63 out of 200, I don't know. And this doesn't tell me much anyway. The number in the item list represents the total number of items, including the main item. I don't know what that means. That tells me nothing, Myatt. Explain your game mechanics better. So I think that you can expend these crystals to somehow upgrade your equipment. But I don't know. So I'm just going to leave that as is for now. Obviously, in the inventory, this is where you can... Oh, you can even expand your inventory. I didn't realize that before. There are also these revive coins. I don't know what those are for. You can repair, disassemble, and convert items. I don't know exactly what any of those do as yet. Again, this is still very fresh for me. I've only got one round that you guys haven't seen under my belt, so I'm still coming at this game very, very new. Upgrades seem to be pretty cut and dry. It seems like drag any non-default items into here, pay a little gold fee, and it'll upgrade it into a new version. I don't know how much gold it's going to take, because obviously I don't have any non-default gear, but that is something worth noting. Alright, that I think is an adequate look at the background functions that I've taken a look at. So, give me just a moment, guys, to ready and launch this, and then I will restart the recording as soon as I get in match. That way it doesn't freeze and cancel my recording. Alright, welcome back, guys. We are now in the match, finally, so I can show you guys how this game plays, and hopefully get a little better at it myself. So, this is a very fast-paced, very mobile game. Definitely falling squarely in the designation of a third-person action game. Oh, wow, he's got better gear than I do. Wow. And he's definitely more skilled. This is not first-person at all. And I can't even really call this a third-person shooter, because there are, especially for some of the other characters, an even higher emphasis upon melee as there is upon shooting. For my part, Ivan here packs his semi-iconic Mosin-Nagant rifle, although that's not what they call it in-game, as well as the Scorpion submachine gun, which I'm using right now, and his katana, which is not actually a katana, that's really more of just a really long stylized scimitar, but all of the weapons in this game are very goofily named. I think they're trying to get around, like, copyright infringement by, like, naming that rifle the Deer Hunter, even though I think that's a Mosin-Nagant. If there are any more well-informed gun enthusiasts out there, feel free to correct me on what that rifle resembles. This, I know, is a Scorpion submachine gun, and they're calling it the Scorpio. It seems redundant isn't the right word. It just seems disingenuous to you know, give something a name that is not the real thing and then make the model look identical to the real thing. It just seems like you're half-assing trying to get around copyright, if that is their intent. And I don't care if it has the same name as real-world things. I question the thought process involved in that. But anyway, that's cursory and tangential. Anyway, back to the real gameplay. Obviously, it's very fast-paced. Got an assist there. You can double tap to do little dashes in every direction. And as you may have seen a moment ago, you can even do wall runs in this game, as you could in its predecessor, which helps to get around. There's some skilled players in this match. Alright, finally, got a kill. Very good. Ooh, what does this aura mean? I don't know what this means. I like the, like, Devil May Cry style announcer. Good! AKA 47, really? Seriously? I don't know why. That just... It annoys me for some reason, the weird names. Because they're not humorous, they're just inaccurate. But anyway. I do apologize for the lack of graphical fidelity, guys. I tried in my first recording to increase the graphical quality, but increasing it even from low to medium settings, which are the only presets available, by the way. The graphic options for this game are deplorably limited. But even going from low to medium murdered my FPS. So I will unfortunately have to record at minimal settings with just a high resolution. Now, obviously, this is playing out in a familiar deathmatch style that most gamers will be quite familiar with. Oh, dang. I think you got a headshot on me.
I'm not done yet.
You have the two scores, or rather two team scores at the top, and in Battlefield style, you're more or less just trying to wear down the opposition. Or no, not wear down, but score more points, not deplete theirs, but it's the first to reach 450 that wins. That guy is good. Alright, I'm going to switch weaponry here. Show off a bit of the rifle. Hopefully not die before I can get a shot off. Oh, whoop, whoop. There we are. Did I get him? I don't think I got him. Uh-oh. Got you that time. Ow, 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 ow. Sword, sword, save me, sword. Ow. Owie. Host has changed. Oh, please don't disrupt my recording. Oh, nothing happened. Never mind, I was just standing there like a derp, being a target. Oh, ooh, nice shot. Very nice shot. Alrighty then. So, I guess the big question here is, does this game live up to the quality and addictive, entertaining nature of the original GunZ Duel? And the answer is a resounding no. No, it does not. For one thing, the run speed seems to be sluggish. I just don't feel like I'm actually moving very quickly. For two, by splitting up the abilities into multiple classes, it feels like every character, rather than feeling specialized, instead, because of how many abilities have been culled from the universal character abilities, they don't feel specialized, they feel limited. And that's not necessarily a good thing. I don't feel like I can do my own thing with this game. I don't feel... Oh, please don't tell me that it just canceled my recording again. Yep. Yep, that's exactly what it did. Alright. Well, I guess that's in keeping with the transition from gameplay to menu mode crash in terms of the recording that I've been experiencing thus far. So that's for maintaining consistency. It's just irritating that I can't really predict when a match is going to be over down to the second and then, you know, adjust my recording accordingly. But anyway, back onto what I was saying. I don't feel like I can play this game my way. I don't feel like I can just pick it up and start playing exactly the way I want to, like I could with the original GunZ. That is a shortcoming here. Between that and the fact that I just don't think this has the same pace to it, really. I kept describing it as fast-paced, I know, but only insofar as it's compared to other action games on the market right now. This is a third the speed of the original GunZ. That one, it was like Zone of the Enders. It was everywhere, all across the screen, bouncing around, hacking, slashing, switching off between melee and ranged at any given moment, between individual seconds. And if you were not on the ball, it was just a massacre for you. That was not a very inviting game for players that weren't really ready to get destroyed by the learning curve, dragging themselves up its craggy cliffs by getting destroyed by a lot of very skilled, I think Korean players were the ones really making the dent there. But I will not condemn this game just because of its inability to live up to its legacy, because I don't know how much of the original GunZ team is working on this, and I don't know how much of the original GunZ experience they really wanted to make out of this. They may have made... Let's try that again. They may have wanted to create a more approachable experience. And in that regard, they have indeed succeeded, because due to the slowdown of the action in this game, it is a bit more approachable, although even as you guys just saw, I got murdered by some pretty skilled players in there. I did better in my first round, I promise. I really did. I actually scored several kills in that round, even with the rifle. But unfortunately, again, didn't have Fraps recording that, so you're just going to have to take my word on that. But I do hope that as this game develops and evolves and has more added to it, that the increased diversity will help to tap and to bring back a little bit more of that old GunZ addictive dynamic gameplay, because the other thing that it really had going for it was a lot of customization, and it seems like with this being in early access, the customization is to about the same degree as Magical Wizard Wars, present, but really only a novelty at this stage. It's not really functional, it's not really fully fleshed out, it's only there enough to show that the system, the infrastructure works, but that they don't really have a great deal, a catalog of customizable equipment set up for it yet. So that, at least, I think, is a more solid follow-up to my first 15 with this game, to finally show you guys a little bit of gameplay. This is not a bad game. Don't mistake my criticisms on it for saying that. I've had some graphical issues with it, but I do have faith now, given that I recorded my first 15 of this game yesterday and was unable to play it at all, and then logged in today and found that I could. So to Maya's credit, they are quick to address the issues that players are reporting to them. Now, given I may have actually been able to get around this issue yesterday and just didn't know it, but if nothing else, like I said, check their Steam page. They are updating almost daily. They're doing a lot of server maintenance to address the issues of connectivity that a lot of players, myself included, were running into when they first launched the game. So that, I think, about covers, really, my first impressions of GunZ 2, the second Duel. So feel free to try this out, guys. It is free to play. It's available on Steam. It's in early access, but unlike a lot of other early access titles, can you tell I'm exhausted? I've been recording so much this week. This Lendython has really taken it out of me. But anyway, it's available for free. Go check it out if this looks at all interesting to you. Hopefully, the game will only get better from here. So, until then, thank you all for joining me here at Last Level Press. As always, I'm Mr. Black, and I wish you all good gaming and Godspeed.